What's going on?
Maybe if the stove was on, then the water would boil.
Totally right.
I have an idea. Let's see if that really is the problem. What if we turn on the water, wait 10 minutes, and see if it will boil?
Yeah, then if that works, that means the water doesn't boil if the stove is turned off.
Perfect! It's like an experiment. Whether the stove is on or off is the independent variable, and whether or not the water boils is a dependent variable.
And the pot itself is a control variable, because we're not changing that part.
Wow, my water's boiling now that the stove is on.
I guess my hypothesis was right. If the stove is on, then the water will boil.
Okay, so let's discuss. Bartholomew, which is a weird name for a girl, I know, but we'll just roll with it. Bartholomew wants to make some pasta, but the water isn't boiling, which counts as our observation. So her friend is like, what is going on? Then friend number 2 makes a suggestion. She says maybe the water isn't boiling because the stove is off. Duh. This is her way of asking a question. So friend number 3 is ready for an experiment using the scientific method. A hypothesis is made by friend number 2. She says if the stove is on, then the water will boil. Friend number 4 takes over with her nerd skills. She explains how the independent variable is the stove being on or off, and the dependent variable is the state of the water, aka whether or not it is boiling. Friend number 5 chimes in and lets us know that the pot itself can be considered the control variable since it stays the same. Then the stove is turned on, and minutes later, the water boils, which confirms friend number 2's hypothesis. Bartholomew collects the data, confirming that, sure enough, if the stove is on, then the water will boil, thus interpreting the results and demonstrating that the hypothesis was right. The end. But not really. Now let's go over some information that wasn't included in the video. In science, there are different types of reasoning. Deductive reasoning works from the top down, first stating a hypothesis, then finding observations and evidence to back it up. Inductive reasoning works from the bottom up, meaning that an observer starts by asking a question, then forming a theory based on what they've studied about the situation. Speaking of theories, let's talk about what that really means. Though the words hypothesis, theory, and law get thrown around a lot, they all mean different things. A hypothesis is the starting point to an observation. It is a statement that needs to be investigated in order to find out if it's accurate or not. A theory comes about when the hypothesis is successfully, officially, and repeatedly confirmed, though we cannot prove that it is a fact. A law doesn't explain why something happens, but simply describes an observed phenomenon. For example, let's say Bartholomew's pot falls to the ground. Law will describe what exactly is happening between the pot and the ground. Hypothesis will ask why this is happening. Did a ghost come from the ground and pull it down? Was it the force of gravity? And theory will state that it must have been the force of gravity once that hypothesis has been tested and confirmed multiple times. Now that is really the end of my video. Bye!